my good buddy, one of the best in the business talking the NFL, at Ross Tucker NFL on social media, Ross Tucker Football Podcast, my friend Ross Tucker. Ross, we are 8 days away from the NFL draft. Great time to be alive. How you doing, my friend?
I am doing fantastic. I always know when the draft's coming because I start to get a lot more requests from folks like you to hop on, which is great. I love the draft. The draft is like college football and the NFL having a baby, and I love that baby. I mean, I still distinctly remember in college, we'd have practice in the morning like sophomore year, and then we'd get like 5 packs and just sit there all day. I got to be honest with you, Nick, I miss when the draft was kind of Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Because all day Saturday, we were just there watching highlights of Booger McFarland or whoever, and it was amazing. It's cool. The Thursday night primetime, Friday's cool, but there was something special about that, like Saturday. I'm glad, let's put it this way, when I was in college, it was like an all-day Saturday event.
Yeah, I loved having it at Radio City Music Hall. I covered it for a number of years in college when we were at NFL radio together. It was the best. Now it's on site every year in a different city. And Ross, this year the NFL draft will be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I've done it a couple times on the show, and I did it yesterday again. Just like, it's 2026. We don't know if Aaron Rodgers is playing this year. The Steelers apparently don't know. Their coach is Mike McCarthy. They're like recreating the 2018 Packers that everyone agreed at the time, like there needed to be a divorce and needed to move on. I think it's likely, not 100%, that Rodgers will make a decision at some point in the next, let's call it week, probably come back before the draft. We know that's what Art Rooney said. That's what they want. I can't believe that we're here with a legacy. This isn't the Jets. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. What is Ross Tucker's opinion on what's happening with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers?
I got to tell you, it's a really good point by you about the 2018 Packers. A really good point. It's so funny. Imagine saying out loud in 2018, okay, when McCarthy and Rodgers didn't like each other anymore, or whatever was going on there, right? And maybe absence makes the heart grow fonder. But imagine saying out loud or thinking, they'll both go to other teams. They'll both be with other teams for multiple years. And then in 2026, they'll rekindle their relationship in Pittsburgh with the Steelers. The Steelers don't feel to me like a retread organization. The Steelers are like, hey, we draft and develop our guys, Cam Hayward and TJ Watt and Le'Veon Bell, Ben Roethlisberger, whatever. We identify coaches that are young, up and coming, Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin. It's almost, I don't know what the goal is other than they're desperate to try to do whatever they can to win a playoff game. But it just doesn't feel like, I, living in central Pennsylvania now, Nick, I have a lot of friends that are diehard Steelers fans. And what's unique about them is making the playoffs is not like, they don't care that much about that. Like their standard, and I go back and forth with them on this, but their standard is like winning playoff games, getting the conference championship games, getting the Super Bowls, winning Super Bowls. And I just don't think that the NFL film Super Bowl video starts with Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers hugging, when he walks into the Steelers facility.
Well, I mean, it does. It does, to be fair. It does, to be fair, just in 2010. 16 years ago. It does. Against the Steelers in Dallas.
Think about
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
I was at that Super Bowl. So were you. Imagine being like, you know what?
2 decades from
now, McCarthy and Rodgers are trying to do this again in Pittsburgh. It's part of what makes the NFL interesting, I guess. But listen, I know a lot of people think they should draft Ty Simpson at 21, and maybe he learns for a year from.
How do you feel about that?
What's that?
How do you feel about that? The Steelers and potentially Ty Simpson.
So I got to tell you, I'm a Ty Simpson guy. And I'll tell you why. Everybody that comes on my show loves him. I'll never pretend to be that guy that's like, I watched every throw of Ty Simpson and his footwork. No, not me. Okay. You know what I do? I get specialists to come on my show, the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Kurt Warner, Greg Cosell, Dan Orlovsky. This is all these guys do. Okay. I have other things to do in life. They don't. So they just watch these guys. And I'm just telling you, Nick, Orlovsky comes out and says he likes Simpson more than Mendoza. Greg Cosell and Kurt Warner won't say that, but I'm like an expert, okay, in reading between the lines. I believe that they actually like Simpson more than Mendoza. I believe I can hear it in their voice. That's enough for me. Cosell, Kurt Warner, I think Louis Riddick on social media, Orlovsky, that's enough for me. And I'm so tired of this. He's only started this many games. That doesn't bother. Dude, his dad's a coach, a D1 college coach. He's been doing this his whole life. And people are like, well, look at the list of guys that, didn't start that many games in college. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Nick. That argument with like Mitch Trubisky or
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. But, okay, wouldn't that be mitigated by the fact that they've been in the NFL for years? Like, I don't understand that. Okay, they came to the NFL with less college experience. Don't you think one time out of the last 7 years where Trubisky's been on 4 teams, that the fact that he only started 15 games, like, who cares? He's been Trey Lance. Like, they've been on enough teams and in the NFL long enough. It's not an experience thing. Maybe they're just not that good. Maybe that's the thing.
The thing that I don't, and we'll move on from this in a second, the thing that gives me pause about Ty Simpson is that if he stayed at Alabama, he'd be the backup this year to Keelan Russell. I don't love that, but listen, like you, I have specialists on the show. I don't know, I'm not grinding the film either. It's just my thought with the 5-star coming in, Keelan Russell. I want to stay in the football state, Ross, of Pennsylvania. A lot of Eagles fans are very angry with me because I've been saying for months that the Eagles are going to trade A.J. Brown. All the reporting would seem to indicate that this is something that is going to happen. In your expert opinion, as someone who is close to the organization, what is the % chance, Ross? And it doesn't have to be today. It could be June 2nd, right? To mitigate financial ramifications. What is the % chance in your minds that the Eagles trade A.J. Brown?
Well, no inside information, number one. I purposely don't talk to those guys this time. I don't want to know. You know what I mean? I don't want to pry or try to know. So I'm just observing everything like everyone else is. I would say, I'm not going to put a percentage on it. I think it's highly likely that A.J. Brown will be traded. And I think it's likely that it happens after June 1st. I've been doing this a long time now. I can't remember that many times when a coach and GM are answering questions with A.J. Brown is an Eagle, that guy stays with the team. It feels like when the coach and GM say, we are not trading him, he's going to play for us week 1, there's still a little bit of a chance they trade him. When they're more or less saying he's an Eagle, and they've signed 3 other receivers and whatever, it just seems to me there's a lot of smoke there from a lot of different places. And even just the way the Eagles themselves are handling it or answering the questions. I don't think if they were asked about Jalen Hurts trade that they would say Jalen Hurts is an Eagle. I think they'd be like, no, we're not trading Jalen Hurts. So I think it's likely that A.J. and I think it will be after June 1st so that they can split up the dead money.
You bet on this Wednesday, Westwood One Sports. Nick Costos here with you. Our guest, Ross Tucker, host of the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. We will hear about one of Ross's entrepreneurial ventures, which I'm excited to do coming up in just a little bit. So, Ross, I've been saying for about a month now, solid month on the show, I just think, not that I think it's the right thing, But I think Dallas is probably going to trade up into the top 10 of the draft to make sure they get, I don't know if it's going to be Styles. I don't know if it's Downs. Like, I don't know if it's Bain. I don't know if it's David Bailey, whomever is going to be there. Just like, feels like a lot of the blue chip defensive players will be gone by the time the Cowboys are on the board at 12. They also pick at 20. It feels like today, with a bunch of mock drafts coming out, including ESPN's Mel Kiper, he has the Cowboys trading up to 6 with Cleveland. So 6 and 39 to Dallas for 12 and 20. Do you believe, Ross, not that the Cowboys will make a trade of that magnitude, should the Dallas Cowboys trade into the top 10 and trade both of their first-round picks in order to do so?
That's tough. I really don't understand what they're doing. I really, truly wonder about the Cowboys. Think about this for a second. They didn't want to pay Micah Parsons, who might be the best defensive player in the NFL. The Packers traded a ton of assets for the right to pay Micah Parsons over $40 million a year. So here's what you have in terms of assets. You have draft picks, you have money. The Packers gave up a ton of both. All the Cowboys had to do was just give him money. And then they use a lot of those assets for Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams is a good player. I'd say he's a really good player. Micah Parsons is elite. Elite. He's a difference-making player. Now they do the trade for Quinnen Williams. Now they might trade again to try to get another guy that's actually a difference-making player. Because I'm not sure Quinnen Williams is actually a difference-making player. I mean, they probably will, Nick. You're probably right. Do I think it's the way to go? No, not really. No, I don't. I'd probably rather pick at 12 and 20, but it feels like a very Cowboys-y thing to do.
We want to make sure that we talk about myfrontpagestory.com. So, Ross, give this to me in about a minute. I've been consistent since this first came out that the New York Football Giants should trade Dexter Lawrence. Apparently, they're at an impasse, as reported last night by NFL media and others. Where do you come down on the Dexter Lawrence trade debate with the New York Football Giants?
I think that they're gonna. After the report last night that you referenced, and where it's going to be resolved by the draft, they've reached an impasse. It seems pretty clear that he wants like top dollar, and the Giants don't feel like they should have to do that with 2 years left on his contract. I'm not typically a big believer in trading players as good as Dexter Lawrence. I mean, you try so hard to draft a guy that's that good at that position. I could make a strong argument D tackle's the second most important position in the sport. However, it's a new regime, or at least a new coach. They didn't change the GM. That's like a 45-minute segment for you and I at some point. But they did change.
I think we lost Ross's video there for a second. Let's see if we can get Ross. Oh, Ross, you're back. You were saying on Dexter Lawrence. Wrap it in like 20 seconds. We could talk my front page story.
Yeah. It just feels like with John Harbaugh, he doesn't want to have this negativity. Clean slate. If you can move someone that's unhappy, get a first-round pick, it makes sense to me.
Ross, tell the people about myfrontpagestory.com because Mother's Day is right around the corner.
Yeah, what's it like 2 weeks away? I'm showing it to you. For those of you watching, those of you listening on all the radio affiliates, just know it is the best Mother's Day gift of all time, whether it's for your wife, your mom, your grandmother, or all three. She will cry. You will win. Make sure you say to the writer or put in the email, I never thank her enough for all little things she does. Just being able to say to them, I want to do something special for you, Mom. So I had a story written about you. It will be the coolest gift your wife, mom, and or grandmother, or all three, has ever gotten for Mother's Day. I guarantee, if they don't say that, Nick Costos will give you your money back. MyFrontPageStory.com. He's got the big Westwood one. You bet money now. MyFrontPageStory.com with the Nick Costos financial guarantee.
You're the best, buddy. Stay well, and we'll catch up with you down the line.
Sounds great. See you, dude.
My friend Ross Tucker joining me here on You Better You Bet. Oh, interesting stuff from Ross on the Steelers and the Cowboys. Hour 1 done. Hour 2 for you coming up on the other side. We start the hour